Welcome to the Bleav in A's podcast.
We believe in A's baseball.
We are back at the bar here in the backyard talking some A's baseball. This is your host, Tyler Texera, here with Luke Mitchell and Devin Neal to bring you everything athletics. This is your number one spot for everything A's, our favorite team in the whole MLB. Shout out Devin, Giants fan as well. But if you're listening on YouTube, go subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, go rate us 5 stars. Download the video. All helps us out. Shout out to the Bleav Network once again for believing in us, and we believe in A's baseball.
Everything Tyler just said, that and more.
Yes, sir.
Tune in everywhere, every platform. Talk about A's, and to get hype for the A's because they're on the mend right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They are on the mend. They're going to get hot.
Big game 1 win against the Guardians. I mean, game 2 is not looking so hot right now, but hopefully we can get the series split tomorrow. I mean, the focus has just got to be winning series from here on out. The rest of the year, just win series, get as many games as you can, stack them, and I think we'll be able to get to that wild card.
I love that. Yeah, let's get the A's to the wild card spot. We are still 8.5 back, but they're looking better than they were earlier on in the year. They're still 13 games back of the AL West after splitting that series with the first place Astros, but what an exciting series that was, man.
Yeah.
Astros came to Sacramento, and Nick Kurtz took over the entire series. The rookie first baseman already has 10 home runs on the year, didn't even start the year in the bigs, got drafted last year, and he already has 10 homers and 2 walk-offs in that series against the Astros. So crazy series in that one. That was really fun to see the A's get hot a little bit.
No, yeah, it's again, 10 home runs, and he started out the year a little cold and then got hot and then got hurt too. Like he was out for a little bit and then came back even hotter and more ready to play, and it's looking really good with both of those walk-offs coming back, the opening game and the closing game of the series.
Man,
he got it done for the A's and split that series against the American League division
So nice
leader.
He had to do it twice.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to our boy Nick Kurtz, future All-Star. We said it last show, gonna say it again, a future star in the MLB.
We said it the day of the walk-off.
The day of the walk-off.
And then he hit the walk-off later that night, so it was beautiful timing.
He also saw the story that we posted promoting the show, added him, and he saw the story of, the title of the show was Nick Kurtz Will Be a Star. He saw that before the game, took it into the game, used that confidence in the 10th inning, and hit another walk-off ball. Shout out to our boy.
I'd like to imagine that.
Hey, he did see it, though.
He did see it.
We're not imagining that.
Hey, glad to help any way we can.
Yeah. That must have felt good for his confidence, though. A young guy, not getting too much attention around the league yet, and then seeing, an A's page post that he's going to be a star. Before the game started, he saw that, went into the game, and hey, probably gave him all the confidence in the world going into that 10th inning.
I don't think he needs someone he's 23 and he's got a 24-year-old team. Like, he's going to be an all-star. He's just like, man, I don't need you to tell me I'm a star.
Hey, he knows
but
it.
He knows it right now, and he's looking like a star.
I really think you never wish it on anybody, but the injury could have been like, a blessing in disguise to say, because rookies they're never used to playing this much baseball, like 162 games. I think the AAA season ends like a month before the MLB regular season, so just to have like that break to reset and then coming out even hotter than he was before the injury, I think that you'll never wish it on somebody, but it might have helped get him a little bit fresher and keep him more fresh for the rest of the season.
Yeah, get him more comfortable up in the big leagues. No, he's not going down anytime soon, and he'll never be in the minor leagues again after this stretch of baseball he's playing.
No.
But yeah, Jacob Lopez on the mound against the Astros in that last game, dominated once again. That's 2 straight outings for Jacob Lopez with 9 strikeouts, and he pitched great in both those games. In this game against the tough Astros, he came out ready, man. He had 9 strikeouts once again. That's 2 games in a row with 9 strikeouts. And he got out of some big jams in this game. In the 6th inning, Mauricio Dubon, Giants legend, was up with the bases loaded. He's been raking all series, and he struck him out to get out of that jam. So that was huge from Jacob Lopez. Love to see him solidify that spot in this A's rotation.
He did that twice. He had 2 different jams.
Yeah.
Like, it was one with 2 runners on, second and third, and then the other was a bases loaded jam, and he struck out back-to-back batters. And, I mean, he had the confidence, and he had the world on his back up and off of the mound. Let's go!
He was hyped. Yeah. Love to see that.
And, I mean, I got to say it again. These last few games here in Sacramento, there has been an A's fan base showing up, and there's been an energy for this whole baseball team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's coming in like a third of the way through the season, but at least there's some sort of A's baseball energy. There's some sort of spirit getting back in that ballpark right
now. I will
now.
say also, doing all this in close games, and like Jacob Lopez in high leverage situations, being able to get out of those jams, I mean, no matter what happens, it's only going to help into the future, but especially if they are able to make a run, like, this is going to help later in the season playing games like this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we believe that the A's can go on a run and make a spot in that wild card because there's so many spots available in the wild card now. There's 3 spots.
Yeah.
So, anything can happen going down the stretch of the year. But going over that game that the A's won against the Astros to close out the series, Willie McIver hit his first home run in the bigs in the second inning. So shout out to the catcher that they just called up, a couple weeks ago to fill in for Shea Langoliers. And every time he plays, man, he's playing really good. He also pitched with one of the nights in a blowout, so got some outs his first time on the mound. So shout out to him, crossing off a lot on that list.
Hey, 0 ERA.
Yeah, 0 ERA for Willie. But also his first big league homer was huge, and he's also been producing pretty well at the plate since being called up in his first stint in the big leagues.
Seeing his name pop up and just seeing him go off in these last 2 games, we've already talked about the young guys that we have grinding, and then just seeing him go off right now, it makes me that much happier, especially with Shea being hurt right now, and he's stepping up behind the plate. So hopefully we can try and work him in somewhere in the rotation, because I know when Shea comes back, he's going to be kind of put in the back burner.
For sure.
And we have every other position kind of filled up. So maybe if, I know we have different rotation guys in that bullpen. We have so many pitchers coming in and out of this bullpen right now that maybe MacGyver works with a couple of guys, certainly, and then gets out on the field with them.
Yeah,
but
I like that.
It was really beautiful to see. First, also his long, luxurious hair.
Yeah,
he's got the locks going.
He's got the flow for sure. Well, that's a good point you brought up about the catchers. Bonding with certain pitchers, because you see a lot of times where these catchers who don't play every day, they'll catch every single one of certain starters starts, and that's big for those catchers. Create that bond with the guy, get comfortable with a certain pitcher, and then every other 5th day you're going to be playing when this guy's pitching. So that's big for this young guy to get some confidence under his belt, and maybe get some vibes with some pitchers on that staff.
And then potentially be a DH maybe in the future.
If he's raking like this.
If he's raking like that, then we could definitely plug him into that offensive spot.
Yeah, it seems like he produces every time he plays. Him and Austin Wynns have been great behind the plate filling in for Shea Langoliers.
Yeah.
But moving on, Lawrence Butler also hit a solo bomb in the second inning in this game. He's been raking as of late after a slow start to the year, still up there in the league lead in doubles, and he's just been raking as of late. So I love to see that from our boy Law Dog. Shout out
Law Dog. And then he's the beginning of the season, we expected him to start off hot. We expected him to be team leader for right now, but it's good to see him catch hot and get back up to. He's been leading the league in doubles for the last 3 weeks, and then with Denzel Clarke right there with him in center field, making another spectacular grab.
Denzel,
the last 2 games against the Astros, it wasn't as amazing as his past grabs, but sliding down on one knee and grabbing it. It's just all right, cool. He made his play for the game.
There we go. For him out
Law Dog too. Not only on offense. he just made a good play today too. We first turned the game on. We turned the game on and it opens with him on the ground, laying full spread. So not only with the bat, you love to see. And I think that kind of translates too. When you're feeling comfortable with the bat and you're on a roll. You just have more confidence to make crazy plays in the outfield like he did today.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I also wanted to call out Altuve. He was back at shortstop for that game.
Yeah,
and he made an error. He
immediately
threw the ball over and loaded the bases up for the A's. That was seeing him back at shortstop, I was like, oh, damn. He still plays that, but he didn't play it well.
No, he did not. Max Muncy did score on that error, put the A's up 3-1, and then our guy, the best shortstop in the whole bigs, continues to rake after, having a tough night before, hit a solo homer in the 7th, put the A's up 4-1, and that was his 32nd multi-hit game, the most in the entire MLB this year. The most multi-hit games in the entire league. Shout out to Jacob Wilson, the best shortstop in the league. Most multi-hit games this year by any player in the entire MLB. Jacob Wilson.
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year favorite, for sure. Best shortstop in the league. Saw rankings from an MLB page the other day, and Jacob Wilson was number 1 on that list. So, looks like we're not too biased over here. No. We're just speaking the facts.
We're speaking the facts. We only speak the facts.
It's not even easy to get, 1 hit in a game, let alone half of the games you've played this year, you've had multiple hits in. That's just pretty insane.
It is. It's insane. JTginn, my favorite pitcher in the whole A's organization, I'll say it again, pitched the 7th and got 2 outs in the 8th inning. Then he allowed 2 runners in the 8th inning with 2 outs. They decided, Mark Kotze said, all right, we're bringing our big guy in, Mason Miller, to pitch this last batter of the 8th inning. First batter up. 3-run bomb to right field to tie the game out 4 apiece. I was not happy.
So that guy Carantini, who that whole game Jacob Lopez handled. He struck him out twice and grounded him out once. Right after that bomb went out, it goes back to Jacob Lopez in the dugout. He's just like,
that takes away his win.
Took away his win. Took away so he was definitely a little heated on that. Yeah. 9 strikeouts in the day. So it's very unfortunate for that. Yeah. But they still got the win.
They got the win. Mason
also,
Miller though.
A's on the board. 4-1.
A's are on the board. Hey, making a run here in the 7th inning. Hopefully we can see some live on Bleav in A's.
But I mean, shout out Jacob Lopez again, just because they put us in that position. He put us in that position for getting that lead. Unfortunately, Mason Miller allowed that ball.
It was a 102 or 3 mile per hour fastball, low and in to a lefty. So, he just put the barrel on it, and it just right away off the bat you knew it was a 3-run homer.
Low and in is probably the worst spot you could go to a lefty with any pitch.
Oh yeah,
and then if you also make good contact off of 102, 103, it's going.
It's going far.
I mean, you kind of hope hopefully the All-Star break can give him a little bit of a break to reset, because I mean it's kind of weird. This is something you do see with closers. Like, I mean, I just experienced it last year with Duvall and Ryan Walker this year. I mean, like, one year you'll have it and you'll be, you're looking like you're going to be the closer for years to come, and it's just any little thing in the mechanics, maybe, anything like that pregame, like you can't figure it out, and that's something that as a pitcher can really get into your head. And they like to say, like, that's the island. As a pitcher, you're out there by yourself. So I mean, you're so in your head that, I mean, a break is kind of the only thing that can help you reset. And I mean, Duvall came back this year and he's been better. So, but you're hoping that All-Star break is kind of enough time for him to get, reset, figure out the mechanics, get with the pitching coach. But, I mean, it looks just in his head at this point.
It does. He just put it in that guy's wheelhouse, man. At 102, put the barrel on it, and that went flying. But then we go into the 10th inning. Max Muncy in the top of the 10th made a huge double play, stepped on the bag, threw to first from third base. Another great play for Max Muncy out there at third. Love seeing him out there. We got to the bottom of the 10th. Josh Hader is pitching, the hard-throwing lefty. Lefty-on-lefty matchup. Nick Kurtz. Love that matchup.
Love it.
2-run bomb, walked off in the 10th inning. Another pimp job from the rookie, Nick Kurtz.
Me personally, I will never be comfortable with Josh Hader in a situation where you could walk off the game.
Yeah.
I've personally seen Mike Yastrzemski do him twice for walk-off home runs. So, he's the last few years, that spot, like, kind of late innings, extra innings. I mean, he has been a good, solid closer the last few years, but it's something about getting into that 10th inning and where he has a little bit of trouble. And, I mean, lefty, like you said, that's a good matchup for Nick Kurtz.
Great matchup. And I got to talk about Nick Kurtz. His batting stance is beautiful.
It is.
I mean, first it reminds me of Matt Olson.
I've been saying it. The next Matt Olson.
The next Matt Olson. But he's just so tall and lengthy that he can extend so far and get across the plate. But what I noticed is, if you look at him when, like, he's getting ready for the pitch, his bat is already so far back.
Yeah.
Like, so when you see him load up for it, he only goes back like an inch just to get that little momentum going. Because it's like he has so much time to get around that he just wants to be ready already. Like, just bam, and then swing.
Yeah. Not really a big leg kick.
There's no leg kick either. Yeah. It's just a quick get your hands around. You have the power already from.
He's big enough to do that.
You're big enough to have the whole power. And so, like, when he has it this far back already, and then it's just a quick, and then just around. Quick swing, he's making it work for a tall baseball player like him. You don't see many people who are 6'4", close to 6'5", and raking it like this.
Going back to the Matt Olson thing, he doesn't have the kind of funky stance like Matt Olson did, but I do see a lot of similarities in that swing path. They just have such smooth swings coming from that lefty spot. Love to see it. So shout out to Nick Kurtz, man. We'll move on to the game that happened yesterday. The Guardians at the A's for the first game of the series.
Yep.
Jeffrey Springs versus Tanner Bybee. A great pitching duel. Jeffrey Springs came out on top in this game. 7 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 home run allowed, 6 Ks, and 1 walk. Jeffrey Springs dominant on the mound yesterday. Hopefully this can start some things for this A's pitching rotation, and that's what we need in this A's staff is to get going.
He retired the first 10 of 11 batters. 2 hits going into the 8th inning. that's exactly what we needed, especially after seeing Severino kind of struggle against the Astros. Like, we need our 2-guy, our 3-guy to back him up and recover from that loss right there, and he did exactly that.
He did.
It was a beautiful sight to see. We didn't even need his defense to kind of step up. It was just, he had how many strikeouts?
6.
Like 6 strikeouts. So yeah, they stepped up, but at the same time, he was painting the outside and everything, getting them chasing. He knew how to control this Guardians team right here.
For sure. And it was surprising to see him go out there for the 8th inning. You know, only allowing 2 hits, no runs at the time. He was already over 100 pitches.
Yeah.
And they still left him out there for the 8th inning, and then he got 1 out, but then the solo homer happened. They took him out right away. But still a great night for Jeffery Springs. Probably his best outing as an ace so far.
He deserved to go out there for that 8th.
He did.
If they didn't put him out there, I would have looked out and been like, come on, Kotze.
Yeah,
like,
you got to leave him.
You got to leave him in there.
Yeah.
Like,
I hate the pitch count.
Yeah.
Pitchers used to be out here throwing.
Yeah.
I watched Tim Lincecum throw a 147 pitch no hitter. Like,
Shout out.
the pitch count. Like, you got 5 days to recover and rest that arm. I mean, and especially no runs is where I really like it. Like Mark Kotze, let him go out there and let him try to get that CG shutout. I mean, that's just showing confidence in your players, and that's a move that I really enjoyed.
Especially when you have, a few run lead.
Yeah.
And you can kind of leave your guy down.
exactly.
If he gives up a solo bomb, it's fine. We'll take him out, put the bullpen in.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick Kurtz, another homer in this game. 2-run homer in the first inning, so that's
inning,
2 at-bats in a row with a homer for Nick Kurtz. Also, that was homers in 3 straight games, and 5 of the past 6 games he's had a home run. The rookie, Nick Kurtz.
Yeah,
he might be in the second place in Rookie of the Year. Jacob Wilson, number 1. He might be number 2.
If he keeps it up like this, then yeah.
He's on pace for over 20 homers.
He's going to be on, he's on pace for that vote, too.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And I loved how this team came together and worked the players around the bags.
Yeah.
We got people on base, and then other people came up and hit and got them around. People were running. And then, again, Denzel Clarke with a diving catch again
In the 9th
field.
inning, man.
In the 9th
He does it
inning.
every night he plays, man.
Every single night.
He's not going to provide much at the plate. He's hitting under 200, but once that bat catches up to the defense a little bit, he's going to be a stud in this
That's the
league.
thing. I mean, he's just too young to really kind of be that good at hitting.
Yeah.
If you're a young 20-year-old, 23 years old, like at the plate playing against these vets who have been pitching in the league for 5 years, you're gonna lose.
They're gonna adjust you off of one game. They're gonna see what you did on one game and be like, all right,
he likes this. Like I just saw last game, he was getting struck out off the high cheese, and then there was bases loaded just now, and he got struck out off the high cheese.
See, yeah, it's tough to lay off that high cheese sometimes.
It is tough to lay off. Tough. But I mean, he's saving runs, saving the game.
Give him the Gold Glove already.
I'm not going to complain for his production.
No, I think the bat will eventually catch up at least a little bit. We don't need much. Probably be in that 9 spot for most of his career.
Just get on base, so then you can get brought around the bases.
Exactly. He's got speed too. Every time he gets on base, it seems like he's trying to steal.
Shout out Billy Bean.
Hey, the MLB average is only like 240 these days. So I mean,
not even that crazy.
If you're doing that with an elite glove, I mean that's reason to keep you right there.
You're ready.
Yeah, for sure. Well, going on to this game, Jose Ramirez made an error in the 3rd, and then he also didn't cover third base. This was actually in the 2nd inning. He made an error playing third base. Just tried to backhand the ball, didn't pick it up cleanly, whatever. One of the best third basemen in the whole league. And then they laid down a bunt, and then he didn't get to third base in time. And that brought up Lawrence Beller with runners on, hit an RBI single in the 2nd inning. Shout out to Lawrence Beller. He's been extremely hot at the plate.
Yeah, especially with runners in position.
Yeah. Also hitting that leadoff spot, that's huge. Hopefully bottom of the order can get on and then get Lawrence Beller and Jacob Wilson up, our big guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, last year, Lawrence Beller wasn't great until July. And then July came around, and he was one of the best hitters in all of baseball. So I've been seeing a lot of A's pages say, hey, just wait for July. Lawrence Beller's going to turn up once again.
Until the next month.
So he's already starting the trend early.
That's the thing. He's already starting to get hot.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful sight to see. That's why we signed him for that extension.
Yep.
And then also shout out Brent Rooker too, because he's been hitting the ball too.
Yeah.
I know he's only got like 1 hit like the last 2 games, but at the same time, like he's on the up and up.
Shout out Dippin' Dots.
Shout out to Jenny for getting those Dippin' Dots. Well, Luke, your favorite guy in the outfield, Tyler Soderstrom, made a sliding catch in left in the 7th inning. I was a little worried seeing it. Good thing he didn't have to throw the ball very far because, he doesn't have the strongest arm out there in left, but making that sliding grab in left, doing anything you can to keep that bat in the lineup is huge.
And, I mean, I do like Soderstrom.
Oh, I know you love Soderstrom.
I love Soderstrom.
But in the outfield, it's a little iffy.
In the outfield, it's a little iffy.
It is.
And I will say I've seen some mechanic changes in the recent games. I do see a little bit. He's getting better at it for sure. And I will say I also don't see any other better option than him out there right now. I feel like Soderstrom, offensively and defensively, he'll bring it to us. But it might not always be pretty.
It's tough because he came up as a catcher. Then he moved him to first base, and now they're moving him to left field. So he's been all over the diamond. Yeah. So it's still taking some adjustment time for him, but hopefully that sliding grab can give him some confidence out there in the outfield. But yeah, Jacob Wilson had a tough night at first, grounded into 2 double plays with runners on, and he was 0 for 3 on the night. We don't see a lot of hitless nights out of Jacob Wilson, and we didn't see one last night as well. He hit an RBI single in the 7th inning, put the A's up 4-0. So after grounding into 2 double plays, having a tough night, kept his head up, hit an RBI single in the 7th, and that was huge because the A's needed that.
Oh yeah, it was seeing him swing his little jittery thing.
Love it.
Shout out Hunter Pence.
Yeah.
It reminds me of just that classic baseball right there. He puts his head down and he isn't afraid to swing the bat.
He's swinging every at bat.
He swings every single at bat.
Yeah.
There's not one time that I see him taking a pitch that's kind of
close to the zone.
If it's close to the zone, he's swinging,
and he's going to put contact on it.
Yeah, he'll make contact with it too.
So Jacob Wilson,
he put that contact to 100.
Yeah,
and MLB
over 100 at this point. 100. He's a straight stud.
Yeah.
But yeah, we mentioned it. Jeffery Springs gave up the homer in the 8th inning, and then Luis Arias came up in the 8th inning and added a little insurance. RBI single. He's been playing good as well. 5-1 A's. Then they put Mason Miller in the 9th inning to bounce back. Mark Kotze likes to do that. Even in non-safe situations, put your closer back out there who gave it up the day before, let him bounce back, and he did just that.
Yes,
Closed out in the 9th inning. A little help from Denzel Clarke, though. There was a runner on base, and that ball was going into the gap for extra bases. Probably would have scored a run.
Scored the run.
Denzel Clarke saving ERAs left and right out there in center field. Love to see it.
No, it's I guess I should have expected it.
You got to expect it at this point. That's what Lawrence Butler said after the game. He said, anything hit towards center field, I'm expecting it to be caught. and if he doesn't catch it, we're going to ask him if he's okay.
Well, but then
that's what he said.
During the game, it's just wait, Denzel hasn't made his catch yet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's coming up now.
We're still waiting on it.
It's coming up now.
Hey, not a catcher, but that's a guy who's going to be, probably pretty good friends with the whole pitching staff.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
For sure. He's going to, all pitchers are going to love when he plays center field.
And then also after that catch, they went to the dugout and they showed Severino and Urias and a couple other players, and they're just
blown away.
What?
That might be 4 weeks in a row with the top play of the week. Maybe. We'll see at the end of the week.
I'm going to say
he deserves it.
Just give it to him.
They should give it to him.
I think they should just give it
His
to him.
His name is in that star defensive category already.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we saw Mitch Spence today against the Guardians. Didn't do great, but hopefully the A's can have some late inning magic here. Down 4-1 in the 8th inning. Still, got some hope for this A's team. But tomorrow, JP Sears will be pitching against the Guardians.
He's going to come back and bounce back.
We talked about it 5 days ago. Can't wait for his next start to see how he bounces back, and we better see it tomorrow because we need it.
I'm calling it right now. He's, let's say, 7 strikeouts.
I need 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, something crazy.
I'm calling 7 strikeouts right now.
That would be huge.
Hey, if you're a gamer, this is a game you want to pitch in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, most likely, depending on what happens with the next few outs, it's going to be the rubber match of the series.
Yeah.
Like I said, you want to continue to keep winning series for the rest of the year, and so big game. This is a game that you should want to pitch in.
For sure.
I love what Devin said earlier. It's just win this, break it down into series. Yeah. Win the series for this whole thing. Win each series.
And you'll find your way climbing up in those standings.
That's the thing. You'll slowly see your team just get up. Especially in the AL West, it's a good division, but it's one of the more kind of competitive good divisions.
I'm not scared of anyone in the AL West.
With that, even
we're fine in the West.
Even if you can't win a series, just avoiding getting swept at all costs is really going to help with how close this division is as well.
For sure.
Exactly.
A lot different from the NL West on the other side.
That
division is crazy. But so JP Sears tomorrow against the Guardians. Then upcoming for the A's, they go to Detroit to play the team with the best record in the whole MLB, the Detroit Tigers.
And probably potential back-to-back Cy Young winner.
Looking like
Tarek Skubal.
Tarek Skubal going to win Cy Young probably once again. So the Tigers are a tough team, man. You said it before the year started. That was your prediction. Yeah. And it was, obviously
it's looking good right now.
Looking good. But yeah, the Tigers are really good, man. The Tigers are always good. Seems like every other year the Tigers are, making a big run.
Nobody expected that from the Tigers.
Yeah, they're young.
These past,
they're exciting.
Well, just when they signed Javi, like a few years ago, and all that came up, they plummeted.
Yeah, they weren't good at first.
They ate it, and then now these past 2 seasons, Tarek was just like, we'll be back next year.
Yeah,
we're gonna be back.
And Javi's been playing good.
Javi's been playing good
Javi's
too.
back to his old self.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, then after the Tiger series, another tough road trip. They go to New York to play the Yankees, who have the best record in the AL East. So a big test coming up for the A's, but I like to say it all the time, they play better on the road than they do at home. So
hey, in the Little League Park, you're hoping a couple of these lefties can get going.
Yeah,
I mean, let's put some balls
in the Yankee Stadium. Let's get Nick Kurtz hitting 3 homers in that series, calling it.
I always love the A's-Yankees series, though. I feel like it's not a rivalry, but it's a special kind of matchup, I feel like, in a way.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Also, Tigers. That might be a real rivalry.
That's a real rivalry.
At least for us. I don't know about these two teams
because only good when the A's are good.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna jump into. Favorite A's memory to close out the show. And I'm going off that because the A's are playing the Tigers. I said one last week about the Stephen Vogt walk-off because we were playing against the Guardians where Stephen Vogt's the manager. Gotta go to the other great memory in this Tigers run. This one was in 2012 where they're playing the Tigers the first year.
Okay.
A's are down 2-1 in the series. Shout out to Brett Anderson. Wanted to have him as another memory, but he pitched Game 3 at that game. So the A's lost the first 2 games in Detroit this series. I was stressing out. This was the first year of A's magic for me. And they make it to the playoffs after winning the West last day of the year. They go down 2-0 in Detroit. The A's actually got a better record than the Tigers, and they played the first 2 games in Detroit in the series, which pissed me and my dad off because the A's had the better record. Usually you play the first 2 games at home, but no, they wanted to go 2 and 3. So they wanted to go 2 games in Detroit, 2 games in Detroit, 3 games in Oakland. So it didn't, work out in the end, but so the A's had to bounce back in Game 3. They did. Brett Anderson, first time pitching in over 3 weeks in that Game 3, pitched a gem, closed out the Tigers, made it 2-1 series. Tigers still up. Game 4. This game was crazy, man. The A's looked like the Tigers could have closed the series out in this game. We're going to the 9th inning. The A's are down. Josh Reddick gets on base with a single. Then Josh Donaldson hits a loud double off the wall. I'm in the left field bleachers for this game, so this was right towards us. I thought it was gone to tie up the game. Did not tie it up. Donaldson on second. Reddick on third. Our guy, one of the clutchest players in A's history, Seth Smith, coming up to the plate with 2 runners on.
That's a name right there.
That's a name. RBI single to tie the game up at 2. 2 runs scored to tie the game up at 3. So it's 3-3. Seth Smith pumping his fists at second base. Whole crowd crazy. Everyone thought the Tigers were going to close it out except A's fans. We knew that some magic was going to happen, and it did. So Seth Smith at second base after tying the game, and then comes up Coco Crisp with the runner on, Jose Valverde. One of my most hated players in Tigers history, was their closer at the time. He seemed dominant, but he looked a little goofy out there on the mound. I didn't think he was that good, but he obviously was, the Tigers closer at the time. Gave up a RBI single to Coco Crisp to walk off. Avisail Garcia tried to, pick up the ball and throw Seth Smith out at home, bobbled the ball in right field, and the rest is history. Coco Crisp, Bernie Lean, shout out, walk off against the Tigers. Could make me tear up, man. One of the best games ever. But yeah, so that was
pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that's
2012 against the Tigers. We're coming for you again, Detroit. Payback is real. Over 10 years later, payback is still on my mind.
New owners for each team.
New owners don't matter. Ace Tigers is a rivalry in my book. But yeah,
100%.
Going on yours.
100%. It is. We're going back to that same time frame.
Okay, 2012. Man, my favorite year.
It's a year before that, though. It was the year that I got put into A's fandom. Like my first year of being diehard A's fan. It was also the first season I ever stepped foot into the Oakland Coliseum.
Wow.
It was the 2011-2012 season. I remember 2 weeks before it happened, 3 weeks before it happened. Just finished 6th grade, so I just finished in elementary school.
Yeah. And
my dad, doing all the graduation stuff, Dad comes to me with 2 A's tickets. I'm like, what? And it was my first A's game ever. My dad just gave me the tickets, and he's like, we're going on a train ride. We're going to take Amtrak to Oakland Coliseum. Gonna go for your first game. And playing the Rangers, that's one of the only things I remember was we were playing the Rangers. We also won 6-3.
Shout out.
And shout out Ron here. Cliff Pennington was. Ooh. This is where I became a Cliff Pennington fan. And also was one of my first favorite players of like baseball. I remember Cliff hit like a 3-run bomb or something in like the 6th or 7th inning. Dad got tickets right behind home plate. I was only like 6 rows behind, and I mean it was a hot day. I remember sweating my butt off, man. It was fun, but at the same time I was like,
those day games in Oakland were no joke.
No joke.
There
was no wind going down there.
It's
there was
hot.
nothing.
It's definitely
but
hot.
I just remember like first ever game, Rangers, A's won at 6-3. Cliff Pennington going with my dad. It was one of the most surreal experiences. Walking into that Coliseum right there, just looking around. I've seen this on TV hundreds of times, and now I look at it now, and it's way bigger than
It's
I ever.
iconic.
Iconic.
That walk-in is iconic. Shout out Cliff Pennington, man.
Pennington.
One of the best infielders in A's history, in my opinion.
No, it's I need to get one of those jerseys.
Man, that would be sick.
Get a Pennington
He's a
jersey.
dog. Shout out to Cliff Pennington. He played harder than anyone on the field. But yeah, we can close out on Bleav in A's. This was episode 5 on Bleav in A's. So we'll be back on Wednesday for the 6th episode. Go subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Bleav Network, all the above.
All of them.
Thank you to Bleav once again for believing in us. Let's go A's.
Thank you. Cheers.